Last day of July 31st, 2023, and this is MS evening session number 1158. And the weekdays module, the seniors alone are attending the class. So the attendees are Dakshin Siddharth, Hariharan, and Harishwara. And Dakshin has volunteered for a presentation, and that's what we are going to witness now. So without taking further, we'll ask Dakshin to cover up. So you stand here, Dakshin. Move the chair, please. Voice visible. Never. Okay. Would you be able to?
Yes, sir. So, good evening, everyone. Today, we're going to be looking at a very important psychological issue, and I'm going to explain it through an example, through the life story of a famous person, Tom Brady. So, have you felt? I mean, you must have felt it. Have you felt like people around you, people close to you, or anyone, even a random stranger, he looks at what you're doing right now and he says that, and he looks at your dreams and he says that that's too far for you, that's too much for you, you can't do it, and it takes another level of talent and dedication to do something like that. You won't be able to do it. It's too much for you. Dream of something average or something. Like a lot of strangers might tell this to you, like don't have too big of a dream.
Even some of the parents do this.
Yes, sir. Even some of the parents, and very few people around us actually support us in our quest towards something. So, written off is basically undermining someone. So, you might have felt this. A lot of us feel like that. Even friends in school or teachers in school, they say that no, you cannot do this, it's too much for you. And that's why even teachers in school, they separate students on the basis of who studies well and who doesn't, and they make sure that the student who doesn't study well, he alone has enough revision so that he can at least pass the test. So he's given resources that can only enable him to pass, but the others are given resources so that they can be a topper or something. So that's a sort of discrimination, and basically human mind, it sets a bar for every person, like this person can do this person can do this person cannot do this, and without even knowing the person completely, we set bars for that person, and you might have undermined another person, and so this happens throughout our society. Everyone feels underrated and undermined. So now, if you can relate, then this presentation is going to be good for you, and let's see how. So, Tom Brady. So, you might think the sport is rugby, but it's not. It's actually American football. So, it's.
What's the difference between rugby and American football?
So, I don't watch rugby, but in American football, basically what they do is there are two areas, okay? You have a field and there are two zones. So, basically, your job is to try to the ball to the other zone. And you have a person called a quarterback whose role is to throw the ball, and that's Tom Brady's role. Actually, he's a quarterback. And the thing is, in Hariharan, in cricket, how many players are there in a team? 11. Football?
11.
Okay. Basketball, there are 5. But in this, there are 53 members in one team. Okay. And when one team is doing offense, the other team is supposed to do defense. So 11 players will be there for offense and 11 players will be there for defense, and the rest will be there in a unit called special teams. Okay. So he comes on only when his team is on offense. So when he comes on, the other team is defending. So basically, you have to throw the ball, and someone has to catch it and run. The receiver has to catch it and run, and the opponent team has to try and stop him. So if they stop him within 10 yards, and you have only 4 chances. So within those 4 chances, you have to clear 10 yards. So if you are not able to clear the ball within 10 yards, then the ball goes to the opponent team and you have to defend. So basically, wherever your teammate stops, you have to begin the play again from there, and you have to get the ball to the other zone. So that's basically American football. And in rugby, I don't think they throw the ball; they just run with it. But this is different. This is more entertaining. And he's actually my favorite NFL player. So NFL is the league in the US where American football is played. So this man, right now, he's known as the greatest NFL player ever. He's 45 years old and he retired this year. So he played until he was 45. He played for 23 years. So actually this guy has more NFL trophies than any other franchise in NFL history. So he has 7, and the most number of trophies that a team has won is 5. So he has more trophies than any other team in NFL history. So he's played for 2 teams and he has won 7 trophies. So you might be thinking, this is like such an inspirational figure. He has won so much. He's so successful. Was his beginning as smooth? No. So he was born on 3rd August 1977. And he did his college in Michigan. So he played for in a Michigan State University. For that team he played in college level. And I've highlighted this part. So basically a draft, let's understand what a draft is. So basically a draft is something that allows either college players or high school players to enter the league. So every team has a pick, okay, in the draft. And it's selected on lottery. So whichever team gets the higher pick, they get to choose a player who's like highly recruited by good colleges and good schools. So in America, in sports, professional sports, you have to play at the college level and then you have to come in. Or if you're too exceptionally good, you can directly complete high school and you can come into the league. Like LeBron James, for instance, he didn't play college. He's a basketball player. He finished high school and then he immediately came to the league. So they pick the players based on their scouting report. So in the scouting report, like they're graded. They're given out of 5 stars. They're given a certain rating, and whoever has a good scouting report and whoever has a good like familiarity with in terms of the scouts, he's picked first. So it comes by round. So round 1 pick 1, round 1 pick 2. So whoever is the best player in that draft, he gets drafted at number 1 in round 1. Okay, and it goes on. So, and then the players who didn't get, it's basically like placement. Who didn't get placed in round 1, they go for round 2 and so on. He got drafted in round 6 and he was picked at 199th in round 6. So you can imagine how many players were ahead of him at the time of the draft. So it's basically like placement. Okay. So in the year 2000, he was drafted 199th in round 6. He was not round 1, not round 2, not round 3, not round 4, not round 5, round 6, and that too at the last of round 6, 199th pick. So that shows you how under-recruited he was. He didn't play for a great college. He played for a sort of a mediocre college, and he played for 2 teams, New England Patriots. So New England is actually not in England. It's a region in the United States. So he played for that team, and he also played for Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And he retired in 2023. That is this year on February 1st. Okay, now you look at this. So Super Bowl is basically something that, it's the final of the NFL. So the NFL final is also known as the Super Bowl. So it's won the championship 7 times, which is more than any other team. So he's a 5-time Super Bowl MVP. He was the most valuable player in the Super Bowl game 5 times. And the NFL, it's Super Bowl is different. Actually, Super Bowl is the final of the NFL. So the NFL MVP is given to a person who does well in the group stage. It's like the group stage, and this is the final. Super Bowl is the final. So he won the NFL MVP 3 times. So QB is his position, quarterback, throwing the ball. That's his role. He has to pass the ball to his teammates. And he has the most career wins by any quarterback at 251 wins. And he has the most passing yards and passing touchdowns. So touchdown is like a goal. When you get the ball to the other side, it's a goal. Here it's known as touchdown, and the player who receives it, and if the player who receives it and goes to that zone, then it counts as a receiving touchdown, and the player who makes the pass, for him it counts as the passing touchdown. It's like an assist. So he has the most passing touchdowns and most passing yards. So yards is the distance for which the person has thrown the ball. Okay, so that's he has the most career passing yards and touchdowns also. Now, this was the silver lining and the top. It was the tip of the iceberg that you see. But we have to look at the remarkable journey that this man went through. So, like I said, he was not recruited by the best college programs. Scouts felt that this guy was not good enough. Like I said in the beginning, they felt that he was not good enough to play in the NFL. But he was also considered below average, like I said. So that's why I brought up this example. And his high school coach had to release videotapes requesting coaches of colleges to come and select him because he was not getting picked. So his coach released a video and he requested the colleges to check him out, and that's how that was a struggle that this man faced. And he was a backup quarterback at college, all right. And in an interview, he was asked about this entire thing, and he's asked about how did you feel when these players were picked ahead of you. And then he was emotional because you know it's human nature. Now this.
I didn't have an easy experience. I didn't have come in as a top-rated recruit. I didn't come in with the opportunity to play right away. I had to earn it. And you know what the greatest honor I've ever received as a player is? In my fourth year, in my fifth year, I was that to this day is the single greatest achievement I've ever had as a player. Because the men in this room chose me to lead their team. And these were my best friends. These were the guys that knew that I liked it, that knew that I loved football, that knew that I loved playing, that knew that I wanted to be the quarterback coach. And all the lessons that I learned here on State Street and in the big house, that's still what I bring to practice.
So it was visible, right?
Yeah.
So basically, initially in his college, he was not like he was a backup quarterback, but at his fourth year, as he said, he was made the team captain, and he was made the captain by his teammates, which meant that in college, he worked hard, and somehow he earned the trust of the people around him, and they started believing in him, which was not the case in his high school or in the starting years of his college. No one believed in him, but he had to earn it. Like he said, he had to earn the trust and respect of others.
I didn't have an easy experience.
You're having this is people. Patrick. Next.
So, understanding this issue, like I said, you do not need the approval and acknowledgement of others to know how great you are. You have to know that you have to know your strengths and weaknesses, and you have to work towards it. You don't need the certification from a third person to say how to understand how good you really are. You have to know how good you are. Okay, you have to realize it within yourself, and you know what you're capable of. And no matter what the other person says, just because a person is jealous of you, he might say something to demotivate you and derail you from your path, but you should not take it seriously, and you have to work on yourself. You know what needs to be done, and you know your true worth. Now this is very important. It's okay to be undermined by everyone, but it's not okay to be undermined by yourself. So don't care about anyone, let anyone undermine you, but don't be undermined by yourself. So you don't start telling yourself that you cannot do it. Okay, so ultimately, in my opinion, the biggest reason that stops a man from getting what he wants is himself. It's not the others, it's not the circumstances, but it's himself. Okay, so if a man is not able to achieve something, it's because he was not ready. he didn't want to do it. That's why he didn't achieve it. It's not because of the people around him. So you can be your best friend, and also you can be your best enemy, your worst enemy. So you can work hard and achieve something, and you yourself can stop yourself from working hard and lag behind in life. So, how did Brady become great? Self-belief. He had self-belief, and I'll show you in another clip later. And ignoring the uncontrollable stuff. So there are some things that you cannot control. You cannot control what another person says about you. So you have to only worry about what's controllable, what you can control, what is under your control. You can work hard. You can learn from your teammates. You can learn from your seniors. You can learn from the coach. That's controllable. That's in your control. But if a third person comes and says that, hey, you cannot do it, that's not under your control. You cannot, because a person may feel anything. He might be jealous. He might be sometimes concerned. He might be over concerned. But you cannot control all that. So worry about only what's under control and do the necessary work. Know your true worth and prove them wrong. So when you have a fire to prove others wrong, then you'll be able to do it. So you might feel angry, then channel that anger into something positive. Okay, so you can see this, right? Is it visible?
We'll always remember him coming down the stairs at the old stadium. He said to me, quote, "Hi, I'm Tom Brady." End quote. He looked me in the eye and said, quote, "And I am the best decision this organization has ever made." End quote.
So New England Patriots picked him at 199th position in the 6th round. So as soon as he was picked, he came to the stadium and he told the owner of this franchise, he told
as a youngster and a person who is commencing in college life, did you anywhere feel that Tom Brady, when he said this statement, he was a little bit of overconfident and complacent?
No, sir. I feel like he's been through a lot. So
His pain made him say,
yes, sir. So he was determined when he said that, I think, and he
looking for a chance.
Yes, sir.
Hungry for a chance.
Yes, sir.
And he did not have any other way to say.
So when he finally got the chance, he went to them and said, "I'm the best decision that you've ever made," and he was true, absolutely true.
And that man believed in him.
Yes, sir. Robert Kraft. So he was the owner, and he believed in him. So Robert Kraft, initially Tom Brady didn't get a lot of chances, but once he got his chance, he actually got his chance because the first choice quarterback was injured. So instead of him, he replaced him and he grabbed the opportunity with both hands, and that started there, and it led him to what he's now. So that's why make use of every tiny opportunity you get. You'll never know where it leads you. So So how did the 6th round, 199th pick, what did he do to achieve something like this? So this young man was written off by everyone, like I said, and I also told you that he played in the NFL for 23 years. He started at 22 after finishing college, and he played until he was 45 years old, and he's still the oldest person to win the NFL. He won the NFL in his 40s. He won it in 2021. So that's 2 years ago. So 43. So he won it at 43. And like I said, he's the embodiment of longevity.
So half of the Senate politicians of the United States of America are retired NFL players. NFL players are all over there in the official positions. So I have been reading an article, and that article said mostly 39, 38 is retirement age. But retiring at 45 is something big.
So Tom Brady alone has had 3 or 4 Hall of Fame careers. So a person is supposed to have 1 Hall of Fame career.
Is he in NFL Hall of Fame? No.
He'll be inducted. He just retired. So, like I said, he has won more Super Bowls than any other NFL franchise. So he played 19 years for the New England Patriots and 4 years for Tampa Bay. He won 6 with New England and 1 with Tampa Bay. So the most that any franchise has won is 6. He has 7. So that's incredible. No other team has managed to win as much as this person alone has done. So now think of all the teams that ignored him, that had the chance to sign him but they ignored him, because New England got him at 199 in the sixth round. So there were a lot of teams who had a lot of chances to get him in every round, but they didn't. But at the end, New England trusted him and they got him, and look where he brought them. So before he came, the number of trophies that the franchise won was 0. But after he came, it's 6. So you can just imagine how big of a player he is. He's a legend, and he holds all the quarterback records. Like in cricket, you have runs, most centuries, and all. Like that in every quarterback record, passing yards, passing touchdowns, everything, every record that you can think of, quarterback wins. He holds every single record. And so now you've read all this. Now again, you think, do you really need others to direct where your life is going? I mean, look at this man. He was doubted by everyone. And see, he became the greatest in a sport where people doubted him even if he could play a match. Okay? In the same league, he dominated and he became the best player ever. So you can also do that with your life. Okay, so this is a mentality that everyone should have. So you can watch this.
The other.
This one, sir.
No, the other one. So that you can correct the mistake next time. What does he mean by saying next one? Like,
So actually,
if you have made a mistake, no, correct me if I'm wrong. If you have made a mistake this time, next one is always there as a very good opportunity to correct.
So no, sir. He said he had someone in the equipment room, and he asks Tom Brady that, which ring is my favorite one. So a ring is basically like you say trophy, a championship. There, after winning a championship in the US, you're given a ring as like something to remember. So you're like it's written Super Bowl 53 champion, New England Patriots, and you're given the ring. Every player is given a ring. So which championship is your favorite one? So for that, he says the next one. So he's confident that he'll win again. So in an interview, they asked him which championship is your favorite one. He said the next one. So that's the mentality you need to have. Winning once is not enough. You have to focus on what you can do next. Okay. So another clip. So what he says is, if you don't have the belief in yourself, then how are your teammates going to believe in you? So how are they going to have the confidence in you that you can get the job done? So first you believe in yourself, forget about what others are thinking. So you have to earn the trust of others. So once you start working hard, the other people will automatically start trusting you, and that's how he became the captain. They made him the captain in college. So yeah. Okay. So far, what have you understood from this presentation?
He does SWOT analysis, as psychology, SWOT analysis, that what are the bad thing has been done in the before in the soccer. He has been corrected and believing in himself and doing best in the next round. And has been didn't take any comments that comes from the outside to the brain. So he has been successfully done by his career.
And I believe he's a very sorted person because he tasted failure and he hasn't been swooning himself by looking into the failure. He kept on moving, he kept on moving, and he kept on getting up. And yes, you had a picture skew of him crying and really getting emotional. So every strong person is very strongest when more people ignore him. So the more ignoring that he has faced has brought him here. And he's more like Rahul Dravid in cricket and Sachin Tendulkar. Sachin Tendulkar is obviously very, very on the supreme level in my mind because for 23 years he has been playing cricket without any black mark or red mark in the legend. And he's in NFL, he's like that. And there are two specific things that I have observed in him. Like he's a veteran, no doubt, and that's point number one because he has earned the name and he will be someday inducted in Hall of Fame as everything mentioned. Second thing is he has stuck up with the arrogance at one point of time. He has been hitting the rock bottom and he does not have any other further underground to go because he is in the rock bottom. That's why he has made that statement. I think the organization has made the best decision here. One needs to have such a dominant guts to say that particular statement. The failure and the sharp edges which has torn him down has made him say that. So that kind of a man is a very dangerous man because he has got nothing to do with that. And even if you give more failures, he will still take it. So he became very dangerous and lethal. And he did his part and he is like one of the very, very big success in sports history has seen.
Yes. So I saw one clip, reel or something, in which this cricket player whose name is some Parag sir, some Riyan Parag. He tried to do something like this and he said, I'm the next finisher that India needs. I can be the best finisher of India. And where is he now, God knows. So not everyone can back up what they said. So that's the difference between greatness and ordinary people. So now the point is we are not only understanding Tom Brady's life, but we're also trying to learn something from him that we can apply in our life. We all are going to college, and how do you think this can be useful in your college life? Harish?
So, first, after seeing the presentation, in my mind it suddenly strikes no pain, no gain. He can succeed because as well as everyone doubted himself, he didn't doubt himself. So that's the main reason I think so he won so many trophies. And he didn't keep any limits for him. He's always pushing himself to be best for the destination also. So this can be.
You play a game and you become excellent in that. And what happens if you are certified to play the further games and nobody is speaking? Like his school coach went on circulating his videotapes of his performances. Likewise, if you are in a situation where the other people have not understood your skills so much and they are insulting you, right? Further they are insulting you, how will you tackle the situation?
Sir, I will develop my skills until the video is. So I will not doubt myself for the situation. I know what I am capable of. So I will push myself to become a great.
How do you think a person can handle himself without getting broken into pieces during that situation? What's your idea? How can one maintain the status and maintain the status quo without breaking into pieces?
So
Easily anybody can get broken if something of this sort happens. What is your opinion?
Sir, after we broken, we want to recover as soon as we can. Sir. So we can't still be rough. So we will get broke at the time. So after the embarrassment, we want to show our skills as much as we can in the business.
As a concept and presentation owner, what's your answer for that question?
So I basically think that a person needs to have a clear vision about his life and should not let other people interfere in what he's planned out. A lot of youngsters do this mistake when someone says something bad, they feel low, and because of that they commit mistakes and they flop even further. But instead you have to completely reverse the process, and you have to get stronger when someone says something like that, and you have to be like, oh, you said that last year, numbers, look where I'm now. So you need to have that kind of mentality, and you have to push yourself and prove them wrong. So instead of, like, some people take it the other way, like I said, and they are like, oh, that man said that I cannot do it. Maybe I'm not built for this, and then you start doubting yourself. And sometimes you have like a half baked idea. Like you either believe in you or you don't. But some people are in the middle. So a part of them tells that you can do it, but the other part tells them that you cannot. And let me tell you, when you're in the middle of something, when you're doing something, and you have this half-hearted feeling, like a part of you says that you can, a part of you says that you cannot. That's the worst feeling ever. Like, you will not be able to do it. You can only do something if you're 100% sure. Even if you're 50% sure, it will not work. Actually, it's better to be 0% sure than to be 50% sure, in fact, because being in the middle is even more dangerous. So that's something that I wanted to show you guys, because I wanted to make sure that college goers are exposed to this kind of story, because I'm sure you must have, even if you heard of this man, you didn't know that he went through all this. So I used him as an example to portray my theory, which is no matter what other people tell about you, you have to believe in yourself. So yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes the caretaker was he will be going to any job, and somebody will be telling anything that you cannot do it. But some people it takes as that any person will not be taking care of the comment. Some people will be taking care, but they are after going some milestones, they fail. That time they will be blaming the reason for the commenters who have told this.
Yeah. So that's what people are not successful. They look for excuses. They create their own problems. So
Yeah, like the example for what he said is Sylvester Stallone was rejected. Initially, for Rocky boxing movie, Arnold was approached and Arnold declined it. Sylvester Stallone wanted to produce it. He went to Arnold himself and he was asking, but Arnold declined as not a friendly manner. But so many people criticized, and in the beginning of the presentation, you mentioned about so many people who say, "You are not a worthy hero to be a boxer." He wanted to even hire Muhammad Ali at one point of time, and the outlandish other boxers who were also kickboxers. But he went through a lot of criticisms. And Sylvester Stallone, in one interview, he says, "I was noting down all the criticisms in the journal, and on the day of the Oscar, after I won the Oscar, I grabbed a bottle of beer, I had some beer, and I went to my room and I took the journal and I read all those criticisms one more time after having the Oscar in my hand." So that was a wonderful feeling, he said. So that's about the cat callers will feel like. That's what he said. Okay. So my question to you is, you've been becoming an avid sports lover these days. We were seeing you playing soccer, and then you bunched into basketball, and then you bunched into cricket for some more time, and now into NFL. So is it a good, healthy kind of passion you are having towards sports, or you want to play all this, but if not, at least I'm not playing, I can grab these case studies, which is true?
So I think it's like a healthy passion that I have, and NFL is something that I got introduced to in 2019, sir. That was his last year for the New England Patriots, and they won the championship that year. And football, I've been exposed to football since 2017. Basketball since 2015, and cricket for a long time because it's India. And then I stopped watching because I lost interest. I felt it was boring, and I follow it every now and then. Mostly Team India's matches. So I think sports is a great way that. So I love sports, music, and films, movies. So I think these three entities connect people, no matter what race they belong to, what language they speak. So I think it's a great way to connect people.
Any other questions? That's it.
Yes.
Good job.
Thank you, sir.